offense, he's the guy who makes everything work. He's with his feet. It's with his arm. He's going to have to play great tonight. He's going to have to play like Superman to be in the Heisman discussion this season and to get this team, to continue to get this team in a Final Four spot down the road to play for a national title.
He might be a nice goal. He's also got some really nice numbers. He's just one touchdown pass and 22 total yards away from becoming Oregon's all-time leader in both touchdown passes and total offense. Also, our college game day crew getting set. They are just minutes away as they are getting ready to take over here on ESPN. You know, David Pollack told me that school's not in yet, so the only thing those kids are studying for, how to beat Sparty.
Well, I mean, what is the price of admission at Oregon if they're not in school in September? If I'm a parent of a Duck student there, and all they're going to a football game so far, I want to know what my admission policy is going for.
They're getting ready for school.
Yeah.
Cut the kids a break.
5 a.m. All right, we're going to E2 College Game Day next here on ESPN.
The dormitories are deserted, a ghostly quiet. Missing are the sounds and the smells of student life. The library sits empty, no seekers of knowledge anywhere in sight. Here in Eugene, school's out for summer. But 2 weeks before classes start, today is test day, as Autzen Stadium becomes a loud and rowdy classroom. Attention, students. Which side will raise their hands and deliver the correct answers today? The visiting scholars from Michigan State University, or the undergrads in residence from the University of Oregon? The invaders from Sparta aim to conquer the Ducks' home territory. For conference pride and playoff positioning, College Game Day back in Eugene.
ESPN College Game Day. We're coming to your city.
Good morning, Eugene.
Game Day, live from Eugene, Oregon, is built by the home.
A balmy September day. And here comes Doug Koke and the brand new Matt Black Harley Hog, who will lead the Ducks out today into Autzen as he always does. You got a new hat this year. And Mr. Corso's special friend,
Yes.
run shotgun. Oh no. Oh no. He usually goes airborne. Oh, look at him. Look
Look at the hat. Got a new hat. Back, yeah. Got the Flavor Flav clock around his neck. I mean, the Duck is the man. He is just. I want to see Sparty's though. Sparty.
He's here. By far the most entertaining mascot in the country. It's a race for second.
Yeah. Who needs classes to get you to have fun in Eugene? This is a tremendous turnout. 6th straight year for College Game Day in Eugene. 9th time overall. 14th time we come back to the Pac-12 in the last 5 years.
I say nothing.
No more East Coast bias.
No, we don't want to hear that.
We love it. And welcome back. Chris Fowler, Desmond Howard, Lee Corso, Kirk Herbstreit. Good to see you fellas. Good to be back here.
I'm just getting out of the way right now. I'm just so embarrassed right now.
Right here.
So embarrassed, you know.
I sent you an Instagram about the gray suit memo.
I didn't get the memo. I didn't get the memo. Oh, my God. I love a great suit. I may change my suit after the commercial. I may go back and put on yesterday's suit.
You know what else is weird, though? It's usually chilly and misty and rainy over here. There's going to be a 40-degree temperature swing. It's going to be at kickoff 90s. The temperature on the field could be more than 120 degrees. They measured it 24 hours ago. There's serious heat in Eugene.
Plus the tempo of Oregon.
Conditioning will be tested tonight.
Yeah, I'm looking at the entire Pac-12 today because it's not just this game today here with Oregon. What they have an opportunity to do to send a message that they're for real this year. But how about Stanford and USC? A huge game within this conference. And again, Stanford's trying to show, hey, Oregon, we're still here in the Pac-12 North. And SC's trying to remind people, we're not on probation. There's not a postseason ban. We're trying to get to the Pac-12 title.
I think from a national perspective, though, look at the Big Ten, their opportunity today. You have Ohio State versus Virginia Tech. Ohio State's heavy favorites in that game. Michigan State here against the Ducks. Big underdog. I think the swing game may be Michigan versus Notre Dame in South Bend.
The best non-conference game of the year is right here, this season, because Michigan State wins with defense. Oregon with electric offense. This is a perfect matchup, boy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's not a real deep slate today. There's a lot of scheduling embarrassments. We'll get to that. But this is the first top 10 matchup of the season, Kirk.
Yeah, and it's a game that I think everybody's been looking forward to the entire summer. And the only way Michigan State, I think, wins this game is if Connor Cook is able to go out and deliver the goods. He's got to be able to distribute the football, try to find matchups to his receivers, and Jeremy Langford also has to give them balance. So Sparty's defense can keep them in the game, Des, but for them to get out of here with the win, their offense has got to step up.
I want to see if Connor Cook, Michigan State's quarterback, if he's really turned the corner. Don't forget, this time last year, he was pretty unsure of himself. As the season grew older, he started to gain confidence. Finished the season very strong. But now, going in Autzen Stadium, probably against the best secondary he will face all year long. I want to see if this kid really has turned the corner or if he reverts back to himself. You know what? People talk about the Stanford game.
Yeah.
You watch the Stanford game like I did. His MO is he would give the opponent an opportunity to be heroes. He actually threw 3 balls into the opponent's hands.
Right.
They only caught one and took it back for a pick 6.
Right.
Those other 2 was right there. They just didn't accept the invitation.
I got you.
So he still got that penchant to throw it to the opponent.
Okay.
These guys he's about to face tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, he don't want to put the ball anywhere near that secondary because they will take it and put it in the end zone. No doubt about it.
Turn the corner. You throw a couple balls in coverage. I understand. It's like, what are you thinking? But the way he performed with the poise against Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game, when this is a team that's going to run the ball. They're like the old Steelers. They want to run the ball and be efficient. This kid's now giving him a chance to go downfield because of the receivers that he has. So I think he comes into this game with a great deal of confidence, despite the balls that maybe he put into coverage. And then Oregon's going to play man-to-man. He's going to have plenty of opportunities to show what he can do.
Exactly. The secret of this game is Michigan State defense and running the ball. That's the difference. Forget it.
Oregon a little bit vulnerable to the run on the open with that retool defense, new defensive coordinator. You guys are fine. The crowd, they're excited. They're excited about the Spartans and the Ducks. If you much more in all these big games. You got big name teams in the noon window. Alabama, Penn State, Oklahoma, Nebraska. As we count down the kickoff, we'll take you to the field and we'll show you the warm-ups. It's a rare day. All 3 service academies are favored in their games today. It's only the second time in 4 years. Predictions coming up. Whether you guys think they'll go 3-0, 2-1, 1-2.
One of them better be ready to play.
Yeah, we'll see. They all better be ready. They're not that big a favorite.
No, I know.
Always better be ready to play.
USA. USA.
It doesn't matter. You're not picking against them. Doesn't matter who they are.
Give them a flag.
A lot more coming up on game day. Carrying a clipboard to running the show. How J.T. Barrett was a leader for the Buckeyes before he ever played in a game. And now Marcus Mariota's talent and competitive nature were cultivated in a very unlikely football hotspot in the middle of paradise. Plus, walk-ons, toiling, working in the practice fields for little, but the love of the game. And when they do get a scholarship, the reactions are priceless.
Really? It's unbelievable. It's like the greatest day of my life right here.
Duck there, class 5.14 route there. I don't think he was built for rock climbing. Versatility.
Oh, he's a beauty, man. He does everything. Jumps out of airplanes. He climbs through and goes.
Geez, a real fan cam. Zooming over the scene here. Tremendous turnout, as always, in Eugene, Oregon. Saturday selections coming up. Special guests will join us right here. Log on to ESPN.com and search Chevrolet to play Chevrolet Virtual Saturday Selections. And stay tuned. Coming up later on in the show. Welcome in David Pollack for our commercial showcase. Bright on the Pac-12 today. We talked a lot about the USC-Stanford game, and of course here in Oregon, Michigan State and the Ducks, the most attractive non-conference matchup all season long. Sam Ponder with Mark Helfrich.
Yeah, no cupcakes here at Oregon to start the year. Coach, thanks for being with us and waking up early. Do games like this early on in the year now feel more important because of the college football playoff?
Well, every week is vital. You know, really, I think there's a lot of teams that want that game up front to have a great offseason and get kind of primed and ready to go for the season. But, you know, every game matters. Whoever wins this game is still in it. Whoever loses this game is still in it. And it's going to be a big job, whichever end you end up on that side of it.
There are a lot of people on the outside that would describe this program as a finesse team, a flashy team. What do you think when you hear those qualifiers?
Mixed reviews. I mean, obviously we've lost a few games, and in general, when you get stopped by a great defense, they're going to be a great defense. And everybody talks about, you know, this ranking or that ranking of a defense, and we haven't lost a ton of games, and that's a good thing. And so those are over scrutinized. But Michigan State's a great team. They are fast. They're physical. They're actually, you know, absolutely known for that brand of football, and we've got to respond.
Is that perceived weakness that you struggle with more physical teams, is that reality for you as a coach when you're game planning, or is that just a misconception?
I would say it's a little bit more on the misconception side. We've played some very physical teams over the past several years in our conference and out of our conference. You know, we've played in the SEC, the Big Ten, the Big 12, you know, all over the map, and we've again played some excellent teams and lost a couple. And so those again are given a little bit more weight maybe than they should.
Speaking of physical teams, obviously you faced one today, Michigan State, specifically on defense. You've got a lot of new guys at the wide receiver position. You lost your top 4 wide receivers. So coming into this game, how have you prepared those young guys for handling the press they're going to see and a lot of one-on-one matchups?
Yeah, there's a ton of that. It's basically zero coverage in a lot of ways, and they do a great job of mixing their zone pressures with it. But it's all about timing. You know, the passing game is all about timing. And Marcus did a great job over the summer along with Keenan Lowe, kind of educating our young guys. It has to happen. You know, the passing game is a multifaceted deal. It's the passer, it's the protection, and then the rhythm and the timing of the routes. And to put all that together against a team like Michigan State, you know, everybody's got to be on.
I know you spent some time at Arizona State, so you felt the heat before. Supposed to be 95 at kickoff today. Does that affect anything?
It's our thing here is it's 100% chance of perfect. Whatever the weather is, we're ready for it. Hopefully it'll be a little hot for our Michigander visitors. I just learned how to say Michigander, by the way. And so, you know, our guys are ready. They're in great condition, and condition of mind probably more important than body.
Coach, we appreciate you hanging out and spending some time with us. As you know, not every guy on the team gets the attention of a guy like Marcus Mariota. There are guys that are walk-ons, of course. 2 in particular that are now NFL stars would be Clay Matthews and J.J. Watt. But before they became NFL stars,
They had to earn their role on the team. And as Tom Friend reports, sometimes those walk-ons get their big moment.
Games on three, games on three. 1, 2, 3.
There's nothing like it. Their faces starts with disbelief, and it sets in and it's real. A lot of times it becomes very emotional for those kids and emotional for me and for teammates.
Every upstanding football program can give out 85 presents, 85 full-ride scholarships. But everyone else on the roster is what is called a walk-on.
The first reaction usually is tackling dummy, water boy, you know, you're sitting on the sidelines. A lot of us walk-ons are kind of the undersized kids. We didn't get that look in high school that a lot of our teammates did.
They pay for their books, their room and board. And while the scholarship players eat for free, walk-ons must pay for their meals, even if they have no cash.
You will have some of your teammates that will be willing to actually go and get their food and give it to you.
You got to play for the love of the game, and you'll never survive. If you were just not to come back for practice, some coaches wouldn't even realize it.
But little do the walk-ons know, the coaches are watching. Because as every season begins, there's attrition. And all over the country, scholarships suddenly become available.
Parts of being a head coach is getting to tell a guy that he has earned a scholarship. Moments like that.
Absolutely. Watching that piece was great. I mean, Autzen Stadium's really loud, but our team meeting room, when we awarded a couple guys walk-on scholarships the other day, it's the loudest I've ever heard, you know, anything. And because those guys know how hard they've worked. They're around them every day. I think if you own a business, hire a walk-on football player because it's really, really hard. And those guys sweat and grind. And I think the loudest and proudest I've ever seen our team is I've had the opportunity to put 5 guys on scholarship, and it's so meaningful in so many ways.
Absolutely. One of the good parts of college football, for sure. Coach, again, we appreciate your time. Thanks for hanging out with us. I know you got stuff to do, so we'll let you go do that. Chris, I will say there are a lot of people that debate the whole paying for playing in college and all that, but $40,000 at Oregon. That's what Coach told me. It's around $40,000 for a scholarship here.
Yeah, thanks, Sam. These guys I'm sitting with here, that's moving.
Oh, yeah.
It's powerful to see that.
The coolest thing is the reaction from the players.
Yeah.
And how much they appreciate all that work, and then the way, and Coach just talked about it, the way it's kind of rewarded and validated with the coach saying, "Come on down here, you're on scholarship."
Because those guys work just as hard.
Oh my gosh,
and they're doing harder, pretty much for free.
Yeah, they are. I mean, those guys line up and play the scout team and just get drilled over and over, and they keep coming back every day. I mean, so that's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Not just for free, they're actually paying to do it. They're paying to get punished.
Exactly, they're paying their own money to get their butts kicked every day. So
I wonder if you guys can recognize an inspiring former walk-on from the University of Tennessee. Johnny Major's first season, 1977. Old John. He did not know that was coming.
That's a surprise.
That was a good stance, Wojo. Shane Scope, war paint looking. I love it.
That's great.
Go back to that picture with the hair.
The flowing locks.
Look at the wristbands, too. He was all about style.
Elbow pads. Look at the elbow pads.
Yeah. Here's your scholarship. Get a haircut.
That's awesome.
That's the only walk-on. Your spotter, Darren Brown, the Ohio State.
That's right.
Fullback here. There we are.
Hey. Everybody's getting FaceTime today.
D earned a scholarship at Ohio State, walked on, was told to leave, had the determination to come back a second time.
Really?
And made it. And then was given a scholarship, and the running back group went nuts for him.
That's awesome. Good.
It's cool.
We've told him to leave so many times that he won't leave, and now I know why. He keeps coming back. He keeps heading. Mark D'Antonio, Steve Sarkisian. A lot more in college game as we swing it over there to Section 0, best seats in the house. You can stay, Darren.
Wojo! Big fella, number 12.
Right out, first level of defense, you're gone. So that's the approach we're going to take.
I watched your special teams practice yesterday, and you blocked a couple of punts. What did you learn from Frank Beamer when you called him about special teams play that we might see tomorrow?
Well, I'm not proud of this, but I didn't understand special teams, did not appreciate it, didn't understand the value. And once again, I'm not proud of that. Since that day of visiting with him and then some other very good friends in the profession, I mean, it's insanity around here about special teams. And I'd like to think that our program has blocked maybe more punts than really anyone in the last, 10 years. So it's a premium placed on special teams here. You don't take a snap on offense or defense unless you're involved.
Thanks, Coach.
You bet. Thank you.
That game, 8 Eastern on ESPN. Time now for top plays nationwide series. Kyle Busch went wire to wire to win the nationwide race in Richmond. He's accomplished that feat twice in the past 3 years and is the only driver to do it since 2003.
That's not possible. Don't they have pit stops in the nationwide race? How is it even possible that he did that?
He didn't stop.
I guess, yeah. Gas goes a long way. Didi Gregorius here, great play. Diamondbacks lost.
It's like he was driving a Prius.
Mm-hmm.
Number 8, Pittsburgh-Boston College. Chad Boytek's lob to the end zone. Caught the leaping touchdown by Tyler Boyd. Boyd fighting off the defensive back, making a contested catch. Pitt goes on to win it 30-20, and Connor ran all over the place in that game.
From the Mariners and Rangers, comebacker to Hisashi Iwakuma. What a catch here. Did you know that Iwakuma is tied with King Felix for most wins by a Mariners starter this year? He's got 14 of them.
I didn't know that, but that was quick reflexes, or that could have been ugly. Number 6, Angels Twins.
Have a great day.
Take our copter out of here.
Virginia Tech tonight. Hokies cannot afford a kind of a special teams gap. They got to have a lot.
Special teams is different.
Is that a lean now?
Yeah, it's a lean. It's a lean.
I look at the USC-Stanford game, and Stanford has a chance. They're at home. It's almost as if, because of all the attrition, all these players and coaches that they've lost, that they're a forgotten team a little bit in the Pac-12 North because of these guys here in Eugene. And Stanford still has an opportunity, obviously, to show that they deserve to be the team to beat. Two-time defending champ in the Pac-12. Today we find out because USC, if you've not seen them play with Steve Sarkisian, there is some young, true freshman speed out at wide receiver, a quarterback in Cody Kessler, and Steve Sarkisian, up-tempo offense. It's going to be fun to watch that physicality of Stanford against the speed of USC.
Yeah, the leadership has changed. Some famous faces in the Stanford defense are gone, but Stanford remains Stanford. That's always the mantra. Right. USC has the new wrinkles. I can't wait to get down there. It'll be a national game. You can see it. Even on the East Coast, you're going to get a chance to experience what is an old rivalry, and a rivalry that's delivered as much drama as any in the country.
And Stanford's won 4 of the last 5. For you, those of you who live in the SEC and, in the East, Stanford's won 4 of the last 5 against SC.
And they had, 3 straight BCS games.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They're a top 5 team.
We're going to hear from David Shaw coming up, Bob Stoops, James Franklin, Kevin Sumlin, Charlie Strong, Nick Saban. All that's coming up.
Good stuff.
When the fun is finished today, every team except one will have played college football. UC Bearcats remain idle until Friday night. There's just one out there that's late to the party.
This is ours hanging out, Cincinnati.
I was going to ask you that
I would have never gotten that.
But then it was mentioned in the meeting.
Yeah, exactly.
It came up.
You got to get. By the way, you got to get your mic turned. It's covering your face. Look.
No one wants to look at
faces.
No one wants to look at my face.
You got to flip that thing. We'll fix it at the break.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, got to help you out here.
Chris, anything, he'll help you.
Right.
He'll help you.
He'll take control.
Look on the mic.
No problem. I'm just mad I didn't get the memo about. You guys look like you work for Calipari on that Kentucky coaching staff.
Oh, you got jumps too. Okay. Look at this dude here.
The only guy.
I know.
Silver
Coach
Fox
is
the only one.
Can somebody run to get my jacket from yesterday's show? I need to change my attire.
On a 2-shot, you guys look fabulous.
My buddy.
It's
my buddy.
It's time to talk about food, Des. You didn't have the rattlesnake that we served, the rabbit we served up in Texas.
I tried it all.
Michael Schwartz is a personal grill chef for your Ducks tailgate. This is some Northwest style. Look at the salmon.
Yeah.
Scallops.
Look at the grilled veggies.
Potatoes grilled up there.
We skipped the scallops, fellas.
You skipped the scallops?
We skipped the scallops. But you guys came here at the absolute best time of the year. It's fall in Eugene, Oregon. It's winning Ducks football. It's definitely fall Chinook salmon time, so we got some fall Chinook salmon that we got here. I've got some elk tenderloins, elk steak, and of course our crown jewels up here in the Northwest are these chanterelle mushrooms. You can get them out on the Oregon coast and only at this time of year. So we're going to go ahead and top these elk tenderloins off with some chanterelle mushrooms. And you guys, next time, I'm thinking you guys need to come and probably catch your own fall Chinook. I got a boat that I can get you on, and I think I got 3 or 4 of those little orange life vests for you guys to wear when you sit next to each other. So.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
Big
Sign
boy.
me up. Yeah, absolutely.
He need to do a few more push-ups. That's what
Hey, but in the meantime, all I got to say is sorry, Sparty. Let's go.
I like it. Marcus Mariota may be leading the Ducks now, but we'll see how this Hawaiian takes the island with them every time he steps on the field here in Oregon. Game day, a lot more from Eugene coming back.
Hunter and Forest versus Neon and Dayglow and whatever that is. Today, the shades don't complement. They clash. It's the color of many things. Nature and youth, currency and envy. Today, let the Royals have their purple and the skies their blue. This field has but one color. It's green. And we all know what that means. Golf.
The poetry of Tom Rinaldi. They share a color, but not much else. Clash of styles here, an attractive matchup inside the Oregon locker room. That's a space-age space.
That's a locker room.
Yeah.
Their lockers shut and close off, and there's a filtration system behind that dries their pads and gets that musky smell out of the locker room. That's a locker room. Think about
crazy.
that.
That's ridiculous. Isn't that crazy?
Look at that. Not quite the same for the Spartans.
Let's go back to LSU's days. That's my high school locker
They
room.
can let the business locker room stink.
Welcome to the
Smells in there.
You got NASA on the other side.
You know what? D'Antonio didn't care about that.
Yeah,
No,
he'd rather have it. Exactly.
Get a taste of the Ducks uniforms there. They were dressed very differently on September 8th, 1979, 35 years ago Monday, when Oregon won the first college football game ever televised by ESPN. Piece of trivia. Wow. 35 years ago Monday.
Good nugget.
Do you know the team the Ducks beat that day in 1979?
No idea.
No idea.
No idea.
It's a conference rival now. Mr. Palika, do you know the team that lost the first ever ESPN college football game?
UCLA.
No. The Mighty Buffaloes of Colorado. The game was at Folsom Field.
Yeah.
The Ducks went to Folsom, and they got it. A couple years before I got there. By the way,
Just a couple.
guess who came with the Spartans to East Lansing? Tom Izzo, who loves his football course.
Sure does.
Close with D'Antonio. He's the honorary captain. He'll deliver a speech to the Spartans. He'll be on the sidelines. Oregon fans singing, He'd be scared if this was basketball.
I like to hear he's giving a little speech.
Yeah. They bring the same physical approach, whether it's basketball or football. They are very tight.
Yep.
Here's D'Antonio with Tom Rinaldi.
Coach, a game that a lot of people have had circled for quite a long time. What do you most want to find out about your team today?
Really, you want to find out, how we're going to handle adversity. Coming in here, playing away on the road for the first time, and we're going to have some adversity. So you want to see your seniors step up and see how this 2014 version of Michigan State's going to react. So we'll look for that, and obviously we want to execute.
High pace, high powered offense, and its central engine, of course, is Mariota. What do you most want to limit from Oregon's quarterback?
Well, I think he's a creative guy. If you have him all boxed up, he can take off with it. So we've got to contain him. I'd say that's the number one thing. And, try and cut down the lanes and passing lanes, obviously. But I think when things go wrong for him, he does an awesome job of creating. And, his toughness and his leadership shows.
a huge road game, a huge non-conference game. Good luck to you. We appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Chris?
Tom, the Big Ten has not performed very well against non-conference top 10 teams, but Michigan State has. The only conference win against the top 10 non-conference since 2011. As a road underdog the last couple of years. Michigan State versus Vegas. Wow. 6-0-1. Just thought we'd mention it.
Yeah.
Why are they such a sizable, double-digit, disrespected underdog today at Oregon, Lee?
I think it's Autzen Stadium. 54,000 people. I think it's the loudest stadium in the nation per person. Maybe that's the reason why Oregon is 34-2 at home the last 5 years. And it'd be very, very tough to pick against it, wouldn't it?
It would be. Autzen Stadium and the Duck, right? Those are the reasons that it's tough to come here and try to be able to hang out with this Oregon team. But to be 13-point dogs, Michigan State is coming into this game with a major chip on their shoulder. Nobody is giving them a chance to come out west and compete. You know, they came out west in the Rose Bowl and they knocked off Stanford. Stanford team that beat Oregon. So in their mind, in their camp, they know within that locker room that they can come into this tough environment and win this game. But to be a 13-point underdog when you're the defending Rose Bowl champs, I'm guessing this team's going to show up with a little bit of an attitude when they take the field.
Is that a lean? That's a little disrespectful, right?
No, lean. It's a little disrespectful. They feed off that disrespect.
I think it's because there's a lack of respect for the Big Ten as a conference. And then no matter who the dominant team is in the Big Ten, people don't respect that dominant team because they don't respect the conference. I think that's the problem right now with Michigan State and the way they're perceived. But we know that this Michigan State team, their calling card is defense. Defense wins championships. And they are a team with an attitude, with a chip on their shoulder. They're going to come in here and they're going to show the college football world what Spartan football is about. It doesn't surprise me that D'Antonio and Izzo are such good friends because both of them believe in defense.
In the same style, same attitude. It's a big point because since 2006, the Big Ten has been living in a crater as far as the perception after what happened at the end of the 2006 season. And they've been wondering when are people going to respect us? Well, here is an opportunity. Michigan State beat Stanford. Now it's another big stage. Michigan and Notre Dame, Ohio State, Virginia Tech. This is a big weekend for the Big Ten.
I tell people all the time, in football, respect is earned. It's never given. You earned it today on the gridiron.
One factor. They're 34-2 here the last 5 years. That means it's tough to be in this place.
No, it does. That's a little lean. You got to do the tough things sometimes, to get respect.
They average about 50 a game in those home games, but they've been beaten a couple times by Pac-12 teams, including a physical Stanford team, and there were some teams that challenged them in Autzen a year ago. So we'll see. The last 3 times that game day's been there, it's the big games. Michigan State's underdog won outright, including the Ohio State game.
They feed off that underdog roll. It's one of those teams.
They met in '99 the last time. It was in East Lansing. Nick Saban was the coach of the Spartans there. He's all look at youthful Saban.
It's a little intense, right?
This is a big play. Herman Ho-Ching, dominant football. Amp Campbell to the house after he had come back from the serious injury.
The year before. That was a Thursday night special. We really glorified upon that game. That was a big deal. Oregon,
what a moment there.
Oh, yeah.
Thankful in prayer for being able to come back and play football. The big touchdown. Meanwhile, Saban, if you haven't heard, is at Alabama training with the SEALs.
You're probably going to be tired. The question is, what are you going to do when you get tired? You can do anything you set your mind to.
College Game Day, built by the Home Depot, is brought to you by Coca-Cola Zero. Zero means it's game day. And USAA, proudly serving the financial needs of current and former military members and their families.
Well, no classes in session in Oregon, so all their creative powers can be focused on the signs. And then, doing well today.
Look at that. Come on, man. That's not right. That is just not right.
Connor Cook wishes he could date our cheerleader.
Guaranteed.
That's a guarantee. That's a given there. Michigan State didn't argue with that. No fly zone. The Ducks no fly zone. That's what the Spartans call their secondary. Very talented secondary too. Random department.
Almost as if because of all this.
Josh Shaw, the USC safety. That's a double shot there.
It is. It really is.
Pretty good.
Oh, man.
Hey, there he is. Chloe Kardashian changed my life.
What's a show? What's a show without a Kardashian?
We'll investigate that story later on. Get him up here. How good is Hawaiian native Marcus Mariota? Good enough to convince Johnny Manziel that he has to play quarterback somewhere other than Oregon.
Is brought to you by Cheez-It. Because at Cheez-It, real cheese matters.
One of our favorite places to go with College Game Day. Great view here from the Cheez-It Real Fan Cam. And here's a Cheez-It Real Fan of the Week. Allison Burns from Oregon, third-generation Duck fan. She says that she wakes up every Saturday morning at 5:30 Pacific time to watch College Game Day. We appreciate that. Go Ducks.
Favorite number here. Number 8 are everywhere, of course, saluting Marcus Mariota. You can see the total touchdowns responsible for 82, more than any player in the Pac-12 in the last 3 years, and this is a conference loaded with offensive players. Yards per play, number 1 in the FBS. Touchdowns per attempt, interception percentage. I mean, the numbers go on and on. And you know, when he got here, Tom, he wasn't necessarily a 5-star recruit, but after a few practices, Chip Kelly knew what he had in Mariota. And one of the biggest developments in the offseason was Mariota deciding to say, I like it here. I like Oregon. I want to come back for one more season. If he was gone, we'd be gone. I'm not sure we'd be here today. It wouldn't be that big a game.
Chris, if he had decided to enter the draft, the prevailing wisdom was that he would have gone in the first round. But instead, he made that decision to come back here to Eugene. And in a way, that's fitting because Mariota's journey has never been about speed or ease. It's been about distance and persistence. And that journey was shaped by a distant place where his discovery happened almost by accident.
For all the water in the waves, the swell in the surf, there's another pipeline here. And it stretches from the shore to the field, carrying a tide of talent. He's the latest from that tide, and maybe the best.
It's almost religious-like. It's huge. People don't really understand. I mean, you know, even though it's like a small island in the middle of the Pacific, you know, football is a big deal.
While the rest of America sleeps, the Friday night lights burn in the most isolated state in the Union. 8 islands form Hawaii, but on this night, only 2 high schools matter. Punahou, number 1 in the state, and St. Louis, a parochial power with 17 state titles.
We've had a lot of quarterbacks come through our program. I hear some people say it's quarterback high.
Just since the 90s, Utah's Darnell Arsenault, Washington State's Jason Gesser, Hawaii's Timmy Chang, Oregon's Jeremiah Masoli. Add to that roster a lanky 8th grader who would be next in line.
I first learned of Marcus Mariota back when he was in 8th grade. My best friend was the JV coach back then. He called me up one day and he goes, I just want to let you know that this kid I got now, he's going to blow you out of the water.
He was a quarterback on the junior varsity as a freshman. He was about 6'2". He looked more like a basketball player.
Coach Passes, he's been there forever, man. I'm thankful for him. I mean, he's really helped me along, you know, along this whole journey.
The journey wasn't smooth. For 2.5 seasons, Mariota watched and waited while another quarterback started.
It's not a storybook. He earned everything. As a sophomore, I don't think he played a lot. His junior year, he sat behind an all-state quarterback in Jeremy Higgins, who's on the University of Hawaii roster.
I love the game so much that I did want to. it came down to ultimately that, the brotherhood at St. Louis grabs you and it holds you, and it's special.
Mariota's persistence paid off when, as a backup with little playing time, he caught the eye of Oregon coaches his junior year.
I was watching recruiting tape of the quarterback that he ended up replacing. That led us to go out there, and he started throwing. It was just, wow. I picked up the phone and I called Chip. I said, Chip, this guy's unbelievable, and everything off the field is off the charts.
Oregon would offer a scholarship to Mariota, but also offer one to Johnny Manziel.
At one point, they were both committed. And it was a time when we thought we were going to take 2 quarterbacks that year.
My dad said, wherever you go, you're going to have to compete anyways. And I just wanted to go out there and hopefully earn a starting job.
Ultimately, Manziel withdrew his commitment, and Mariota, as a senior at St. Louis, led the team to a state title before leaving for Eugene. 3 years later, he now leads another team, but carries the same spirit with him, the soul of an island, and the pedigree of the pipeline.
Where he has gotten, it's some place that nobody else from the island's ever been.
Well, Hawaii is definitely a big part of me when I go out there. And, I hope through these few years that, I was able to represent that state in the right light. Myself, my family, where I come from.
Before his Mariota's parents sold their home in Oahu, which was on a bluff overlooking Diamond Head. One of the reasons why, to help pay for him to attend football camps on the mainland to increase his exposure to college coaches. Obviously, it worked. He's the most famous student here on the campus in Eugene. And Chris, he's trying to become the first quarterback from Hawaii to win the Heisman Trophy.
Tom, it's a great story of family commitment. You get the feeling it's going to be rewarded, whether it's for the Heisman or at the next level. David's back. Our quarterback guru, George Whitfield, joins us here. You know Marcus Mariota's skill set very well. Came to a spring game here. He was kind of an unknown. So the quarterback take off for an 80-yard touchdown run against the Ducks' good defense. So we knew right away he could run. Chip Kelly knew he had something kind of special, but how has he, George, refined the skill set the last couple of years?
He's become better at his protocol. What happens with chaos beyond taking off and being a 100-meter dash to the end zone? This is his next step. This is his next evolution. Big game last year against Stanford. Here you see both defensive ends pouring in on him. They've already beat the tackles. He's conflicted. Reacts. If he stops and sets up right here, you see the back on his wheel route, he's got a chance. Overreacts to the pressure, comes all the way back up to his own offensive lineman, and here we are, stuck with a sack. But he's going to bounce back from that. That's a really big focus he's been working on, and we talked about that quite a bit this summer.
For this year and for the next level, they want to see that pocket presence, right?
I think a big thing with him is not just growing and getting more comfortable. He is so diverse. I mean, he can run, he can throw. His demeanor, you just heard in the feature there with Tom Rinaldi, he's breaking in most first-year wide receivers, and they're playing against man-to-man pressure today from Michigan State, bump coverage. The way he'll just kind of get them to just relax and believe in themselves, I think really rubs off on his team. And I think the other thing is his ability to run today is essential. As much man-to-man that Michigan State will play, they better spy with somebody that can move, because Braxton Miller hurt him last year in that same coverage.
There's nobody in the country the last couple of years that would have taken over Marcus Mariota. He's got the total package. He's got the height. He's got the speed.
Yeah.
He goes through his progressions, too. I mean, he's not a guy that this is an offense that's a trick-em offense. He goes through 1, 2, 3, 4. He sits in the pocket. He's going to be challenged today. He's got to be Superman today against this defense. He's going to be required to run, throw. If he's going to win a Heisman, they're going to stay in the national title picture. He's got to play like that week in and week out.
Yeah. That's the biggest challenge you're going to face all year long.
I think so.
This defense.
Because he's got to be. There's still a lot of question marks about Oregon's defense. I mean, they're still going to have to score a lot of points, and he knows that in a conference with a lot of quarterbacks that can score a lot of points with a lot of weapons.
And plus the style of defense that he's facing. I mean, they make a living on not just confusing the quarterback, but confusing the offensive line and creating a lot of pressure with their speed and their tempo. Pat Narduzzi is one of the best at getting offensive linemen thinking that they're going to go this way, and then as the ball is snapped, the pressure comes from over here. So, and they do a good job of just really corralling a quarterback that can move, as opposed to giving him somewhere to be able to break out and break contain.
So he's always been a big part of the Ducks offense. His counterpart today, Connor Cook for the Spartans, becoming a bigger factor. He lit up the Buckeyes, lit up the Cardinal in the Rose Bowl. Before that, he really hadn't had a 300-yard passing game. You worked with him a couple weeks in the offseason. How have you seen him build on those two games coming into this year?
Connor's biggest focus this offseason was to work on his escapability, getting out. Mariota wanted to work and put his focus on staying in. Connor wants to be more effective out on the perimeter. Here you see us here working in San Diego. Got our intern Jose playing the David Pollock position, we call it. Here comes the pressure. Now you see Connor make the pivot.
That's the Pollock position. He's got to move a little quicker.
Ball, two hands on the ball. You see his vision still remains downfield. And yeah, we put objects in between in the pass to make them play that second.
Avoid the soccer goal was the point of that, right? Throw it up and over the.
It's World Cup. It was a World Cup.
So he wants to get better at that. I don't know if they make a living, though, with Connor Cook running for his life from the Ducks defense, however.
Balanced attack. I mean, they still want to be able to run the football with Jeremy Langford, but this group of receivers is good, I think, that Mark D'Antonio's ever had since he's been a head coach. He's got an experienced quarterback. I think the difference is Dave Warner now calls the game with confidence. On the road, tough environment. You might think, oh, let's be conservative, win with defense. That's the Michigan State way. Not this year. Not with Connor Cook and what he did last year, the work he did with him. They're going to attack and be aggressive.
Even in this place.
Absolutely.
The two big games were neutral field.
Their defense will keep them in the game. If they want to win the game, Connor Cook and Jeremy Langford have to win the game.
Remember, when he started last season, he was splitting time. He wasn't the starter. He was the starter. Once he got in a groove and as the starter, here's what he does as good as anybody in college football. Watch his vision. Look at all safeties. Watch his safety in the middle of the field. He moves them with his eyes. He doesn't have to turn and look for a second and a half. Watch how quick he knows that post opens up, snaps his eyes, and throws it right across the middle of the field. He manipulates the defense with his. From being a question mark, I think he's a top 5 quarterback in college football. I think he's that good. I think he'll have a good day today. I think he'll have a great season. He's that good.
You got him in the top 5 in the country at that position.
At that position, yes, he can throw the football.
There will be 3 or 4 plays this game that's going to call for him to make a play in that gray area. He's going to have to go out, work, and extend. That'll be the difference today.
And he's done that. He's shown you some great poise and some ability to scramble and get out of situations that were tough.
Chris, going back to what you said, in this stadium, in this environment, I think of absolutely. I mean, Autzen Stadium is hostile, but it's nothing that he hasn't seen already in his career. I think you turn a conservative approach to a very aggressive approach. Michigan to just kind of hang into the game and try to get out of here with a moral victory. They came into this game defensively. They're going to be in your face. They're going to punch you in the mouth. And offensively, they're going to attack downfield. That's who they are.
I get it. I'm not saying they're going to be awed by the environment. I do think that in some of those games you're talking about on the road in the Big Ten, as you said, he wasn't the man yet.
No.
And that wasn't as crazy as this, and they were running the ball. Michigan State was scoring 14 points and winning games last year in the regular season.
And that was the defense scoring, too, in the beginning of the season last year.
I'm just saying, you better be prepared to score and answer Oregon's challenge. I'm not saying he's not ready for it. I just think this is a different test than some of the things he's... But maybe he can. Maybe we'll look for Connor Cook getting out of the pocket. Mariota trying to play better in the pocket. George, thanks.
No problem.
Michigan, all they can take last year.
Jeff Amato, Chuck Amato's defense.
Right.
Thierry Bowden. Good in there. Yep. Showing his team Mac upsets of the past. The Cheez It Real Pen Cam and our boy is there. We just say it. We just say it. The Duck's going to be up here at the end of the show.
Duck's going to be our show.
Up here.
Guest picker.
Sparty's.
I wouldn't mess with Sparty.
Sparty's all rocked up. And that fits the stereotype. You get to that clash of styles here, which is the mascots are kind of clash too. Look at this. Attention Duck fans. This is just north of Eugene on the way to Portland, Silverton, Oregon. A Michigan State fan with a dirt rake made that Spartan logo. That's artistic. That's solid. That's good stuff there. Seen from space. Well, we've talked about this game from different angles, and we know it's not like Michigan State doesn't have fast guys and Oregon doesn't have strong guys. But there is a different contrast in styles here. Fast switch versus bulk. Oregon's defense trying to prove it can stop a stout running game. Stanford came in here, held the ball for 42 minutes. Michigan State will try to adopt the same formula. They watched the tape. They saw the Ducks give up about 4.4 yards per rush to South Dakota. Going to have to get better today against Langford and company. So let's break it down. This battle of brawn versus blur, as one local newspaper put it.
We think our speed's a big advantage we have here. You know, we pride ourselves in that. And, you know, it's going to be that what everybody talks about, you know, the power against speed. And we'll see what happens.
I think we match up perfectly. You know, we're a very aggressive defense, so I think the biggest thing is we just have to come out, you know, play the way that, you know, Spartan Dogs play. You know, as long as we're productive in doing that, then we'll be fine, you know, against their offense.
You can't really hit somebody you can't touch, you know what I mean? So hopefully our offense is fast enough to outrun them, you know, those big, powerful guys.
I put our defense up against anybody in the country. We just a group of individuals out there just trying to play, have fun, get to the ball, and just cause chaos.
It's not like they drastically change their style for anybody, and they certainly won't do that for us. They're physical, but they're very good cover guys, so they're a tremendous challenge. They don't give you anything.
Well, Des, you break this down, and these fans have plenty of bravado, but they know that it didn't look all that stout against the run. The Ducks defense in the opener better show up today big time.
Yeah, you're right about that. But their secondary, Chris, I think that's going to be the difference in tonight's game. They have a shutdown cornerback named Ifo Ikpre Olomu. Now, this kid is really special. I'm going to show you why this guy may be the difference maker tonight. First and foremost, he's not afraid to mix it up and make tackles. Watch him right here, 9 yards away from the ball. Watch how he closes the distance and then flips Stanford's running back on top of his head. He's a very physical corner. You want to see technique? He's a technician. Bump and run coverage, hands on the receiver, look back, find the ball. Do not take your eyes off the ball. Open your hips to the field and knock the ball down. Textbook man-to-man bump and run coverage. And Don Pelham, defensive coordinator, likes to put this guy on an island by himself. Watch how he rotates the safety away from Ikpre, leaving him one-on-one in the end zone. Another INT. 5 of his interceptions out of his 7 have taken place in the red zone. And when you look at their defense, since 2010, they've recorded the most interceptions in the FBS with 81, and they've also recorded a lowest QBR rating of their opponent's quarterback. I think the secondary is going to be the big matchup tonight in this game. Connor Cook, he better be ready, Coach.
Yeah, you're not kidding. Desmond, great job. And to upset Oregon, State should take a page out of the Stanford game plan. Why? Stanford only beat them 2 times in a row using it. I think he was using it. The first thing is throw action pass. That means they run the ball, fake it, and then throw it long and try to get a big one over the top. Perfect play right here. Touchdown. Second thing is run the tailback. Bang it in there. Bang it in there. Control the ball. Bang it in there. Watch this. Boom. When runs it. Good blocking on the line. Langford takes it off the outside. And that's it. And what the big thing is, keep the Oregon offense on the sideline. They kept them on the sideline so much they scored only 34 points in 2 games. Oregon scored 34 points in 2 games using that plan. I mean, using that plan. That's amazing.
They bang?
And bang. Bang.
Good job, Lee. The way you told us. Good job. Good feature there. I look at this Michigan State defense, and they've got some new faces. They lost a lot of their leadership. And talking to Coach Narduzzi yesterday and Dino, they're going to be the same team. Trey Wayans becomes Darquez Denard. He goes from the field, which he's playing here, to the boundary, which is where they put their best cover guy. So you're going to see a lot of him, and he's going to have to be aggressive and hold up out on an island. The reason they put their corners on an island is because they get really aggressive with their linebacker play. See how they corral the quarterback? They keep him in the pocket. They're going to try to do that tonight the best they can against Marcus Mariota. When you go against Oregon's tempo, a lot of it is just recognizing personnel groupings and formations and then communicating and being able to get your defense aligned and then be able to be still aggressive. It's easy to get on your heels against that tempo. So to me, the matchup is not just the skill like Mariota against his defense, but the tempo. Can Michigan State be a bully? Can they be an intimidator the way Stanford has been able to do the last couple of years?
And you said Mariota, and Mariota's going to ball. But who's the other guy? D'Anthony Thomas is gone. Huff's gone. Addison's gone. I think Byron Marshall is the guy that has to play that D'Anthony Thomas role and have a big game. He's going to line up as a running back, run that read option that you've seen him run over the years. Look at this. He's getting up to 22 miles an hour, moving. He's 200 pounds, too. So then he can do that as a running back. Then you put him in the running back and you make him a receiver. Watch right here. Nice little run to the flats. He runs a wheel up the field. Again, a threat out of the backfield. He might be their best receiver on this team. So somebody's got to step up. And then thirdly, putting him in the slot. You're going to see him move all over the field. Watch him right here. Green grass opens up over the middle. Play fake. Mariota finds him. Somebody outside of Marcus Mariota has to make big-time plays. Byron Marshall, I think, is that guy this year for them in this offense.
He's a proven guy. What's exciting about these early season games, you get a chance to see all the guys that have arrived with hype. Royce Freeman. Darren Carrington is a receiver they're excited about here. He did some good things in the opener, but now it's a much tougher assignment to do so in a big game. But Ducks have plenty. They got some pipeline. They got some young guys.
How about the young talent? And they're kind of shooting their mouth off saying, we welcome that. We want that press coverage. We want that man-to-man. For guys that haven't done much, they're very, very confident in what they can do against Michigan State's defense.
That's good X's and O stuff.
We'll see. Yeah.
And they look different on the outside, too. They're 6'5", 6'2". They got some taller guys on the outside. Interested to see how they attack.
Mr. Pollack, you're on an opening week roll. Undefeated in the Big Four picks. Thought I'd mention it. Now you get to take a crack at this one. Michigan's a sizable underdog here.
Here's for me. Obviously, it's almost a 2-touchdown game. One of the toughest environments to play in college football. I think Michigan State can get stops, but I also think they can score with the Ducks. I think this is a big-time upset. I think Michigan State pulls it off here. I think their defense makes enough stops. I think Connor Cook shows you he's one of the best players and one of the best quarterbacks in college football and has a big day.
That's what they think of it. Well, let's just continue to have them. But I like this hostility. We could remind the people that no one in this panel at all picked Oregon to make the 4-team playoff.
That's right.
In year one.
That's right.
Heisman picks, Hundley, Gurley. Nobody said Mariota wins the Heisman. Boo. All right, Tom, we go to the chef, Michael.
All right, fellas. We switched gears a little bit. I think you guys got about 50 or 60 really hungry people that put your show on for you every week. We're going to give them a bunch of tri-tip. We got the chicken right here.
All right, feed the students, too. We got to get the bear.
I'll tell you what, I wish I had enough food for these students. But
all right, now.
I fed
all right, thank you. There's the bear. You ready? You ready? I'm ready.
Share your tailgate tales with the Home Depot using hashtag Let's Do Game Day. And in part by AT&T, mobilizing your world.
Hold on. Let's fire up the Cheez-It fan cam one more time. This is the moment these folks have waited hours and hours for, although I have no idea what's about to happen. We have. we think the #1 mascot in college football.
Oh, yeah. I call him the San Diego Chicken of college football mascot.
You're right.
He's done everything, but he's never done this.
Never done.
He's never joined us as the celebrity guest picker. We have a blender. We have props. ESPN.com, search Chevrolet to play Chevrolet Saturday selections at home. Like you're listening to what I'm saying right now. Mr. Duck.
He seems hungry. He's going to be on a sugar high for tonight's game.
We got a serious sugar high coming here. All right. We're going to start with some special prop selections here. Alabama, FAU, Auburn, San Jose State. In Gus, we trust. Auburn always covers with Malzahn. But who wins by more, Des? Alabama or Auburn today?
I think Auburn, because their offense is just designed to score a lot of points. And Nick Marshall, he's back, and they're playing at a high level. So I got Auburn. What is he doing over there?
Duck, who wins by more, Alabama or Auburn? The elephant.
Alabama.
The elephant.
Oh,
Alabama.
All right.
Alabama.
Good pick, bro. Nice score. Alabama.
I got Auburn. Alabama doesn't score enough points. You got to
Exactly.
You got to say Auburn.
Exactly.
The service academies are all favored today. That's a rarity. Air Force at Wyoming. Navy Temple, who just beat Vandy. Army Buffalo. Which academy has the best chance to lose?
I hate to say it, but I have to go with Air Force. My brother spent 25 years in the Air Force, so Jonathan, I'm sorry, but I got to go Air Force. All right.
All right,
you
big
disagree,
boy.
Duck? What's the problem?
What's going to happen? Which academy is going to lose as a favorite? No, none of them. He said,
no. USA. He picks them off. USA.
I don't know. How do you follow that if you're me? I agree with you, even though my graphics going to say Navy better be careful against Temple.
This is a big day for the MAC. Which is the MAC team most likely to pull an upset today? Not including Toledo.
I got Terry Bowden Zips. Yep, they're not going to be overwhelmed by the atmosphere. I like the Zips. I like Akron Zips.
All right, Ducks, who you got? It's the Rockets against the Nittany Lions.
All right.
And the Rocket It's the Rocket.
NIU versus Northwestern. Northern Illinois beats Northwestern.
I think Northern Illinois is going to beat Northwestern. I got Northern Illinois as well.
Good. Okay. Doesn't matter how we set it up. Missouri, Toledo.
What do you have?
Pinkle's old school.
Yeah, I think that Pickle is going to be well received until the final score. I got Missouri beating Toledo.
We got
Missouri and Toledo.
Another
the Rocket again.
The bigger Rocket. Oh, hey, not so fast, my Duck friend. Not so fast. Missouri, I hate to do that to my friend.
I can't believe you just.
I did that.
I can't
not
believe
so
you gave him a not so fast. I'm going to say Toledo. I think Gary Pinkel heading back home. I think Toledo gets. I think they get Missouri.
Texas was a favorite with BYU. Ash is hurt. All the injuries. Now the
He's killing them with the props
are a road favorite.
I think Texas, their defense stays on the field too long, too much, too often. I got BYU winning a close one.
Ooh, you hear that?
What do you got here? BYU, Texas. The Magic 8-ball.
Texas. Texas. Hey, hook 'em horn. Can you do that? No, all right. Hook 'em horns. We got Texas. Me, my friend.
You got Texas?
Yeah.
I'm going with Texas as
All
well.
right,
Nobody's giving Texas a chance.
I go with Texas.
I'm going to bill you for my iPhone, which may not make it through this segment. Michigan, Notre Dame.
Michigan.
Final chapter.
Michigan. They close the final chapter in South Bend with a resounding victory.
Going to go that way.
Over the Fighting Irish.
Underdogs that won 7 out of the last 10.
I want to see what the Ducks going to say.
He's going, oh, no.
Ouch.
No, Michigan.
Ouch. Oh, wow.
A headgear pick.
Hey,
look at that.
Hey, sometimes you pick like Daffy Duck. You know that? Michigan in the win.
Hey, what's wrong? Straighten out your buddy over there, course.
Michigan.
Hokies. Buckeyes.
It doesn't matter. I got Michigan.
All these young Virginia Tech guys at Ohio State.
I'm going for the upset. Hokies.
No, really?
Over the Buckeyes and the Hokies. I got shot for that one. Alrighty then. Hokies over the Buckeyes.
I guess you like Ohio State.
No, he likes Virginia Tech.
You like the Hokie bird?
Yes, Virginia Tech. He told me.
Going to Ohio State.
Yeah, you know what? Let me tell you what.
Brutus.
I love you, Duck, but Brutus was my first love. I gotta go. I'm sorry. I'm going with Ohio State.
You want to get into this?
Yeah, I'd like to. Ohio State at night at the shoe. It's tough to win. I think Virginia Tech's going to keep it close, but Ohio State will win it.
USC, Stanford, we're off to the farm very soon, if the Duck allows it. You can be a pick. USC, Stanford.
I think Kevin Hogan plays well. Stanford's defense is going to be great. I got Stanford.
This is a tough one. This is a tough one. 2 Pac-12 rivals. Ducks don't like either one.
Oh, he got it.
Oh, wow.
He
not make a pick.
He doesn't want either team to win.
Will not make the pick.
Say nobody.
Nobody wins.
Say nobody.
Stanford with it.
Can both of them lose?
Michigan State, Oregon. I say Michigan State and Oregon here. A chance to really ride an impressive win for that selection committee. especially for the image-challenged Big Ten today?
I think it plays a big role in, our gameplay. We definitely want to show the other conferences how, the Big Ten does, and, we want to show our dominance.
And there's some backstory. I mean, Pac-12 against Big Ten, so we just want to show the Pac-12 is out there to compete in maybe the better conference.
I think every time you play a football game, that's in play for us. You've got to come out and represent every single game. So that's how we see it every game. I don't care who we play.
There's a lot of conference pride.
All right, we got one pick for Michigan State from Pollock already. He got booed. Yeah, what do you say?
I think that the Oregon Ducks, they're going to be too much for them offensively. It's going to be 95 degrees. D'Antonio already questioned the conditioning of his defense. I have the Oregon Ducks.
Kirk,
what's the problem, man?
We've been here. This is our 9th time we've come out to Eugene with College Game Day. We came here in 2000, was our first time. I've always picked the Ducks. How do you pick against the Ducks in Eugene? However,
except today,
Michigan State comes in with a big chip on their shoulder, and they're going to be aggressive, and Michigan State upsets Oregon.
Hey.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
You know what Michigan State said? It's a no-fly zone. It's a no-fly zone for the Ducks today. Who do you like, Duck?
You pick here. All right. I go. What do you get, Duck? Oh, what do you got a package for me?